Yo, what's good guys? We are back with a new video. This time it's a little bit different. It's still Blazing related. However, it's more of a hypothetical what if could we please video. um so obviously with the release of the new 7-star system, we are very curious to who's gonna be released next as the next 7-star unit. So we saw that obviously there's going to be new 7-star units like the Naruto, for example, but we also saw that the old characters or old units may become 7 stars also, and it wouldn't surprise me if, if Bandai or Gree or whoever obviously, is doing all of this, if they're smart, what they will do this with every unit. So even if a new unit releases as a 7-star unit, they will have a counterpart 7-star unit that will just be an older unit that you can transform into a 7-star, or you can awaken to a 7-star, if that makes sense. So, with that being said, I've been thinking about different units that could become, eventually become 7-stars. Would it be worth it? What kind of, why would it make sense to have them as 7-stars? All that kind of stuff. So yeah, here's my little list, and I hope you enjoy. So I'm gonna go from least likely to most likely. At least in my opinion, personal opinion. So obviously, if anyone has anything else that they'd like to add, please comment below, because I am quite curious to what people think. And I'm going to start off with the 9-Tail Shroud Naruto Uzumaki. This unit is the OG epitome of just pure damage. So for the people that haven't played Blazing for this long and don't know what he does, with his jutsu, essentially he gives himself an attack boost of 50% for 9 turns and restores chakra gauge by 2. So what we, or the people, used to always do, obviously, before all those crazy units got into the game and whatnot, buff him for 3 turns and then get into the boss and just one-shot him pretty much, or more than likely one-shot him with the 8 chakra ultimate or secret jutsu. So yeah, why do I think he's a good fit? Why do I think he's a good fit, but why do I think that he's probably the least likely one to get a 7-star unit, at least at the moment? So if they'd go by a pattern, they would choose units from Shippuden, or Shippuden, whatever you want to call it, over obviously OG Naruto units. Even though I do think that this one deserves an honorable mention and would definitely be sick as a 7-star, because there is a history to this unit, definitely. This used to be one of the most heavily used PvE units for a long time. And I'm talking before Madara got released as well. He was the unit to have or to get, especially for new missions and all that good stuff, because he was pretty much viable everywhere. OP unit, old unit as well. As you can see, December 28th, 2016 in Japan, and on global he released on January the 4th, 2017. Not too far apart, because obviously we only have that week's difference usually. But still, that's 3 years ago. So yeah, definitely a good unit. He could use with he would obviously get a new ability with a 7-star, which I wouldn't mind the same that Kakashi got, which is the basically chakra required goes down by 1, so he would be a 3/6 unit, for example. And I don't know, his ultimate below this would become like a, I don't want to say AoE, because that would be way too overpowered for this unit. More like if you boost yourself and then have an AoE with a 150% boost, because I think that's the most you can boost. Either way, imagine that. That would be mental. Mad for a unit, to be honest. That unit would be way too viable again, at anything at this point. But yeah, that is why he's the least likely one for me personally anyway. Then, again, I've picked this unit because of Shippuden and how far these 7-star units have been picked. So obviously Kakashi and Naruto, they were pretty much end game or end series characters. So I thought, okay, to maybe stay in the theme, he would be a very good unit, or a Sasuke would be a very good unit to have. If they'd go that route. If so, for example, they have the Naruto and Kakashi at the moment. If, for example, the next two units would be a brand new Sasuke, which wouldn't surprise me, and maybe a Sakura, but we'll get to that in a second. So it wouldn't surprise me if they'd release a new Sasuke to counterbalance the Naruto, or to go with the Naruto, because that would make sense for me. But if they would want to 7-star one, which, again, this is why it's so unlikely, because him and the what's it called? The Bravery Naruto and him are a pair, essentially. So I don't see one of them getting a 7-star without the other. And obviously Naruto already has a 7-star now. So I don't think they will do that, which is why it's so unlikely. But this unit would be so overpowered if they gave him a 7-star. I mean, this unit was a top unit for a long, long time when it came out. Like, it was pretty much used everywhere. Not only PvE, but PvP as well. And bear in mind, I've played those days. I used all these units. So, no, this is a throwback as well. Obviously, another nearly 3-year-old throwback. But, again, very unlikely, but I'd love to see it. However, I am expecting a new 7-star Sasuke, if that makes sense. Anyway, going off tangent, going on to the next, we're looking at Minato. Okay, again, we're still in the semi-unlikely reasoning, but again, a unit that could become a 7-star, or at least I feel like it kind of deserves one. Would it go with a theme? I don't know. I mean, he could go with the whole. They could go with the whole. Kakashi obviously being his student, Naruto being his son. Let's say he comes out with a Sasuke. Sasuke has Team 7 relations, and then obviously Minato is there to, yeah. It kind of doesn't make sense, but it kind of does make sense. So obviously he used to be a very decent unit to have at the beginning of the game as well, and he kind of went downhill. I mean, he's not really a relevant unit anymore, or personally, I at least don't think so. Would he be good with a 7-star? I'm pretty sure he would be good with a 7-star. I mean, yo, look at the Kakashi as well. I mean, he's a 4-8 already. If he'd get like a good ability, maybe. Do I think it's likely? Not at the moment. But again, 4 years, or nearly 4 years, which is madness. And obviously his abilities, I don't know whether they'd implement a system where they're going to change abilities as well that are already existent, because that would change the game quite a bit, because that could mean that more 7-stars could be picked from older units. Because Minato, for example, the attack boosts are fair enough, but all these critical rate boosts, I just think they're pointless, especially at the moment. So like, add some immobilization resistance, stuff like that, so you could possibly use them in Ninja World Clash, or the PvP system, basically, which would be a viable option. I mean, he's got a little bit of dodging here and there. Obviously, there's a lot of units that counter that nowadays, but hey, it would be a cool unit to get as a 7-star, especially with the new 7-star arts. Going down the list to the a little bit more likely units for me, at least. So let's say they go the route where they bring a Sakura, or a new Sakura out, and they want to give a 7-star to a Sasuke, right? Because they want to keep in that Team 7 theme right now. Let's say that's going to happen. In that case, a solid contender would be the Sasuke Uchiha Avenger. Again, has been a solid unit for a little while. He's got an immobilization rate boost. Some of his abilities are meh, but then, I mean, all of his abilities are kind of meh, not gonna lie. But he's a 4-8 unit already. He's got an AoE. He's got 2 AoEs, to be honest, to be fair with you. And I feel like if they'd give him a 7-star, possibly wouldn't give him an AoE, but that doesn't mean they wouldn't at all. So even if they'd give him an AoE, that would make it interesting, definitely interesting. I'll probably see like a 14-15 times multiplier, which at that point the unit would become quite a decent hitter in all honesty, because he's a long range unit as well. Take it up to like 2k for example. Well, he's 2k after limit breaking. Let's say 2.4, 2.5k maybe. I mean, it's viable. I mean, maybe up to 3. It depends. It depends how much how much you can boost yourself when you go up to 7. Do I see him as a viable option? I definitely do. He's one of those characters that I wouldn't mind getting a awakening, or a 7-star awakening, if they don't go the route where they're going to bring us a new Sasuke instead of, let's say, a new Sakura. But I am prepared for a new Sasuke before getting a new Sakura, because that would throw me off big time. I don't think many people stand Sakura as much, so Sasuke is definitely the better and more viable option. For now, anyway. But again, these are all speculations and why I think they could be a possibility and why not. But yeah, I feel like they could possibly not turn him into like the Rinnegan, Sharingan Sasuke, but they could easily turn him into the Mangekyo one, with both his eyes, obviously, after post-operation. So yeah, it would be interesting, definitely be interesting. But again, it's more likely than the others that I've talked about, but I still don't see it happening as of yet anyway. Going into what I think is way more likely. So, if we're sticking again with the Team 7 squad, a new Sasuke for me makes more sense than a new Sakura or 7-star Sasuke, right? But if they'd have to pick a Sakura to make into a 7-star, this Sakura is 120% the unit they would choose. And if they're not, then man, am I gonna eat my words. Literally will eat my words. She's she would be a very solid unit as a 7-star, especially with her healing, with her damage reduction, and that last skill doesn't even matter, because as a 7-star, again, her stats would go up. She'd probably be a, I don't know, around a 3.5k health, and around a 2.2 strength, maybe, possibly, maybe just below that. She would definitely become a very viable unit to use again. Very, very, very much so. I don't know what ability they could put on there. Again, she's a 3-star, 3/6 chakra unit already. She's a she's a healer primarily. She does a bit of damage here. I don't see them giving her an AoE. If they would, then possibly something to do with maybe another regeneration. I mean, what'd be cool is if she could bring someone back to life. I know it's a bit far-fetched, but like that kind of thing, like a resurrection kind of thing for ultimate. But I mean, come on, give me some props here. But no, definitely this is something I see happening. If they're gonna need a 7-star Sakura, this is something I definitely see happening, and I would like your feedback, obviously, in the comments about that, because I am quite curious. And then my number 1 pick, a bit of wishful thinking, but I don't think it's too far-fetched. So this Madara, right? Amazing unit when he came out. People re-rolled for this unit. I re-rolled for this unit. Like, I was having this unit. Brilliant unit when it came out, especially. Got attack boosts, reduced damage from skill, heart and body type. There's a chance for him using 0 chakra. He's a 6/12 unit. Okay, hear me out. So, with a new ability, I would definitely take down chakra, because that would be the biggest fallback. Possibly even take it down by 2, and they could introduce again another ability. Would it be broken? 100%. You couldn't just give it to everyone. Yeah, you'd have to make it fair. Most units nowadays are 3 to 4 units, 3 to 4 star chakra, 3 to 4 chakra units. So it would make sense, but I'd be happy with him just being a 5/10 for the time being, because he'd be used for, he wouldn't really be used for PvP. You could possibly fit him in there somehow, because I don't think it's stupid. He's already with his limit break at 305 speed, so that's not too far off a usable unit. 46k health, 3.3 damage. That's not far-fetched. He would probably become another... What? Yeah, he'd probably become another Kakashi with this, because... Or would he be more usable? That's another question. Obviously, he's an older unit than Kakashi, and possibly if they want to go Shippuden, or if they're going to release a singular 7-star unit, then Madara is definitely the person to release. Or if they do go with the... We're going to upgrade the 6-star or a 6-star. This is the Madara, or this is the character I would love to see get a 7-star. 4 reasons. OP unit, very good stats, decent abilities, and I would love for him to become a 510 chakra unit that could rock my PvE again. Like, there's obviously a load of decent units again, especially now. But with him becoming a limit, not a limit break, but a 7-star, it would open up so much more for the people that used to play as well, because a lot of people have him maxed out from back in the day. Because why wouldn't you? So yeah, food for thought. Those are my characters. That is kind of my wish list. I hope to hear you guys tell me in the comments below, because I am quite curious to what other people think. Obviously, I know I rambled on for quite a bit, but yeah, no, I'm looking forward to talking to you guys in the comments below, and possibly do a part 2 with some more wishful thinking characters. But no, if you enjoyed, guys, please like, subscribe, obviously follow me on Twitter if you'd like to have a proper conversation, and yeah, see you later. Peace.